Guys, there are very few companies out there that have impressed me every time I've gotten one of their knives, and Vosteed is one of them. So today you got a treat because we're going to look at 5 great Vosteed knives. Let's turn this around and take a look at them from above. Guys, do you like Vosteed knives? I hope so, because we're going to look at 5 of them. We're going to start with this one right here because it's the budget version of a knife that we saw a while back and I fell in love with. So let's get these out of the way and look at this one. And it's the Vosteed knives Nightshade. Now, this is a more budget version. The one I had was definitely more expensive. This is a great knife. This one is in 154 cm. This is the Nightshade. Micarta handles. This was a knife that I hated to send back to Jared over at News Knives. This thing is amazing to cut with. So you've got this big leaf-shaped blade that comes down at a heavy curvature. This knife is recurved in here, and it's radius from heel to tip, and it cuts so well. Once you get past the weirdness of it and you learn how much power you can generate in a cut, this thing is great. Nice thin blade on this. This is going to need touched up. You're going to see most of these knives in their first impressions video I'm going to do that I already did on these that you guys are going to see released later. But this was a knife I absolutely loved when it came in the first time, and the fact that they've done it in some micarta, and I'm really happy about that because micarta is one of my favorite materials. And the micarta that's on this is a very good color micarta. It's not like your typical green. When you get a green micarta, a lot of times it's in like a light green. And sometimes I just don't like that. This is a really good green. You got this beautiful pivot collar. Everything about this knife is great so far. I did a first impressions on it, like an unboxing. It's been awesome. The action on all the Vosteed knives are amazing, and the fact is just such a good all-around knife. If you're looking for a really good everyday carry pocket knife that could also be like an outdoor style pocket knife, this might be the one because it's just so versatile. It's almost a kukri style. So there you go, your first one, the Vosteed knives Nightshade. So this one is the Vosteed knives Valkyrie, and it's a button lock Warrenclyffe, and I like this a lot. And it's another one, really good green micarta. Reversible pocket clip because it is ambidextrous, because it's a button lock. You got reversible double-sided thumb studs, nice flipper tab on this. And I wanted to call out something. Vosteed has changed. I don't know. I don't remember seeing their packaging being this good. You get a metal container with a cardboard slip and a pouch. So really nice packaging on these. But this thing is great. This is a really nicely done Nitro V blade that comes down to a really piercing tip. You've got a full finger choil, nice spot for your thumb. They didn't bother putting any jimping up in here. Having that autofocus is really starting to drive me nuts. Some jimping on the spine, really good flipper tab on this with some jimping on it as well. You can get up on here if you don't want to get all the way up there. That is a really nicely executed design. The action on this is super smooth. The blade comes down to a very nice thin behind the edge profile. Nice and sharp. Nitro V is a razor blade steel. It's not some of my favorite steel for a lot of things, but it does take a very keen edge if it takes the edge you like. Nice deep carry pocket clip that sits nice and deep in a pocket. I've had this in a pocket a couple times. So you guys will see videos about all these knives coming. The handles are contoured on this, not so much a full round contouring, but they just knock the edge off of this. And so not only is it comfortable, but you get a nice, like a reflective, almost faceted appearance to the handles. But that gives it a really nice feel in hand when it contours over like that, instead of being complete flat slab. So super comfortable knife. This thing is one of the ones I really am digging, and it sits a nice narrow profile. Even though it's a relatively, full-sized EDC, it's got a nice slim profile to it. So there you go. The Vosteed knives Valkyrie. You guys ever reached down to tie your shoes and broken a shoelace? Of course you have. Well, imagine you're out in the middle of nowhere and you've got to have those shoes to get back. If you're hiking or if you're in the military, there's a reason I always carried and had multiple sets of replacement shoelaces. Well, today's sponsor is Tempered Trail. They are giving you guys some of the most durable laces that you're ever going to find. 550 pounds of strength in those laces. So check them out with the link down below. It saves you 10% at checkout. They are offering a wide variety of colors and lengths. So you just pick the length, you pick the color, and you throw them in your shoes. So big shout out to Tempered Trail for sponsoring this video. Guys, let's get back to the knife. This one is really cool. This is a higher end knife. This is the it really does snap. This is the RS Knives Chaos. So it's the RS Chaos, designed by RS Knives. So this thing is really cool. So you've got a very, very cool blade shape. So you've got a really cool area back here that is a flat that hollows up into it. So it's a kind of a nightmare grind style. It gives it a very cool look. It is a definite unique button actuated liner lock. This knife is going to be in a video very soon because I had it out and I'm like, I really want to play with this. This is M390 and titanium. So this is a big, beefy knife. It is kind of heavy, though, even though they did a lot of weight reduction. This is a heavy knife. Big, beefy. That thing just snaps open. The nice thing about it is this button on this actuator, it's definitely got a different feel than most button locks. So you're getting the same feel of a button lock, the same ability to do what you do with a button lock, but you're not using a plunger. You're using a more traditional style lockup with that liner. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds on this. Reverse flick on this is great. This thing is really, really comfortable in hand. You've got a full choil on that. You've got the reverse flick, and then this blade is just crazy looking. This is something that looks like it needs to be in a futuristic like sci-fi movie. And then you've got this beautiful case. This is another one where I had to call out the packaging. You get this really, really nice case. This is definitely one of their higher end versions of their knives, and it is awesome. Just listen to that snap. Listen to that. Just slams open. So there you go. The Vosteed Knives RS Chaos. So let's move on to the next knife, which technically is two knives. And it's the Vosteed Knives Raccoons. So we're going to look at this one first. We'll move this one. I just am going to do each knife and its stuff, but they are both the Raccoon. One is a cleaver blade and one is a drop point. So let's do the drop point one first. So I've seen the Raccoons before, and these are a great, comfortable knife. This is the drop point version. It's done in a handle material that is really cool. Well, I was trying to zoom in on it and it didn't work out the way I wanted, but this is a micarta that is a blue micarta, and it's got a checker or frag pattern on it. This has got a balance on it that I absolutely love. You guys can see it wants to tip forward. It is tip heavy. It's done with a cross bar lock or axis style lock. It is thumb studs only, but with it being an axis style lock or a cross bar lock, you definitely can treat it just as such. Handles on these are so comfortable. I've handled the Raccoons before. 14C28N blade that comes down super thin. This has got a great blade profile on this. Did a little bit of cutting for this with this for the first impressions video you guys are going to see here in the future, you know, just how that works. Things get filmed and don't finish getting edited. So this thing is a great, nice broad blade. It comes down super thin. Really comfortable in hand. Vosteed does some of the best functional jimping you're going to find. All of their knives have got jimping that has not been softened over. Fairly deep carry pocket clip. The action on this is super smooth with the thumb studs. Let's see. I have a problem. A lot of times I can't get an axis lock style lock to flip, reverse flip, but you don't have a problem with this. Beautiful hardware. This thing is nice and light, super light carry on this. So 14C28N, one of my favorite steels. The blade on this is done just in a beautiful drop point that still has a lot of flat, a little bit of belly. I'm digging that these came in. All this stuff came from Jared over at Neves Knife. Make sure you give his channel a follow. And they did this right. Look at this reversible pocket clip with a placeholder to keep dirt and grime and stuff out of there. And I dig that blue micarta is one of my favorites. So let's look at the other version of the Raccoon. And it's this one with the more cleaver style or sheep's foot style, nice radius. Same things on this, on that last version. It is 14C28N. This is done in that green micarta that they did that I like. This is more of a flat scale, reversible pocket clip. The Axis style locks on these are super, super smooth, and they've got zero blade play in them. Not like what you see in a Benchmade. I mentioned this in a video I did not too long ago. A lot of companies are doing these knives way better than Benchmade, and I think a lot of it has to do with the ability to use bearings instead of washers, or that they are using bearings instead of washers. You can tighten them down a little bit tighter and not lose your action like you do on like a Benchmade 940. Pocket clips on these, nice and comfortable. These handles are just great in hand. Once again, really, really good jimping on this. This blade shape is got the same basic edge profile, but it is a little bit more radius if that's something you're looking for. Less of a piercing tip. This one is done with a black finish. And you can see they did the liners black. And the other thing, I meant to mention this on the other, completely hid the liners. You don't see any of the liner on the outside. It definitely has a cleaner look, in my opinion. And the fact that they didn't really try to do like this cleanup, it lets you see that the natural fibers that are in there, it just lets them kind of flow. Some companies will try to polish this out. And what happens is you wind up with something that's a little slicker than you want, and you just lose some of the natural beauty of the micarta. So both of these knives are great. The action on them, I like the Raccoon. I think this is one of my favorite Vosteed knives I've seen. You can choke way up on that because that's not necessarily a choil, but it's also not preventing you. It's not like flat across. It drops you in so that you can take what's a small sharpening choil and turn it into a full finger choil if you want, and just really do some power cutting. The Raccoons I've seen several of these. It's the first I've had them on the channel. I've gotten to see several of them. I really have enjoyed the Raccoons. So with that being said, guys, let's turn this around. We'll do some final thoughts about this. So far, all of these knives have been a yup. All 5 of these, the 2 Raccoons and everything else. I really, really am digging this one, which is that Chaos. So guys, let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, send you out about your day. There you go, guys. These are great. This RS Chaos is amazing. This is one of the coolest knives that I've had come in a very long time. It's just beefy enough and just crazy enough to really, really hit that spot that I'm like, ooh, I really like this. So guys, that's it on this one. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit longer video. We'll keep this short. You guys know I got sponsors. I threw a sponsored ad in. Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail, and Dull Strung Knives. Coupon code is built into their links, but you can also use Crazy Sharp, all one word, all lowercase, and that will save you the same amount, 10%, at Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail, Rosecraft Blades, Farron Forge Knife Works, and through the month of December, 40% at Beyond EDC. So you got to check that out as the biggest discount I've ever been able to offer you guys. There's affiliate links down below with most of the major knife vendors. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. It supports the channel. Same thing with my Amazon store. Take that link, pick it into your browser, do use it for all the Amazon shopping you're going to do. Check out the public Discord down below. It's in the link to join the community, have some fun, hang out. There's a lot of stuff you can do. It's not real active yet, but you had direct contact to me through the DM. So if you got a question about a video, you can always reach out to me. I have a paid membership that has a private Discord. I do giveaways. There's exclusive content. Baseline and premium guys are automatically entered into the giveaways. The exclusive sharpening tutorial series is reserved for the top tier, but it's a lot of fun. You might want to look at supporting the channel that way. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. This one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.